All right, Matt Overton. Hey, what is it like, Matt, to get called by a team just randomly going, hey, we need you here in a few? Like, what is that process where they go, hey, man, we need you to come up, and we're the Chargers, or now it's the Dallas Cowboys. Get here, and when can you get here? What is that?
Typically, in my situation, man, you kind of can expect a phone call on a Monday or a Tuesday following the games on Sunday. You know, in this case, there was an injury that occurred, unfortunately, and I got the call from my agent on Monday afternoon, just kind of stand by, get some bags packed. Looks like you'll be going to Dallas for a workout. And they called me shortly after that and said, we're going to book a flight for you, and you may not come back because we need a guy. So in that case, it's kind of like, yeah, let's pack the bags. And at this point, this is the fourth trip that I've made so far this season to a team. And this opportunity I knew was a little bit more significant, that they needed a guy right away. So packed the bags, kissed the wife and kids goodbye, and flew to Dallas, and I've been here ever since.
So walk us through, because we met you when you were a Colt, and you spent some seasons with the Colts. Just kind of walk us through your NFL career real quick.
Sure. Yeah. It's so I'm going on year 11, which is incredible to even think, considering I went undrafted out of a small Division II school from Western Washington that doesn't even have a football team anymore. But I started my career in 2012. Was my first official NFL season with the Colts, and I spent 5 years there. During the time when I met you guys, that's where I was playing. And then got released there in 2017, and then I went to Jacksonville that year, played there for 2 years, and then brought me to the Titans in 2020, which prompted my wife and I to move to Nashville like full-time. And then I went to the Chargers last season, and now here I am in Dallas. So it's been ever since my time in Indy, where I spent 5 years. I had a little stability there, being with the team for multiple years and kind of calling that home and settling some roots there. Ever since then, it's been kind of a year-to-year thing. It's been a new team, new city. I had to move and make that adjustment, and we're just kind of we've been through this before, and we're grateful for the opportunity to be here. And it's pretty wild. I mean, I know Mike and all those and Eddie and the Dallas Cowboy fans know, but Jerry's world is a different place, man. So experiencing this place is pretty wild.
Yeah, I do want to talk about the Cowboys in a second, but mostly, are you just in like extra good shape right now?
I like to think so. I mean, honestly, I've been training pretty hard.
You look like it. Yeah, you look like lean and mean right now.
Yeah, hey man, I'm the old guy in the locker room now, so I gotta make sure that guys think that I'm still a little bit younger than I really am. So
what are you, 35, 36?
No, I'm 37 now, man.
Dang, you look good. So at 37, obviously you're the long snapper, but you still have to run down and make tackles, right?
Sure. Oh yeah. Block a grown man and go try to make a tackle, man. So it's still gotta be athletic. Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so let's talk about the Cowboys for a second. Eddie, you're diehard.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Matteo, hey, I have to apologize first, because I mean, like he said, we've known Matt since he played with the Colts and then went to the Jags, and then he's played for the Chargers, played for the Rams.
Wait, I don't think you played for the Rams.
You did a game, right? Or did you join?
Yeah, well, I was on the practice squad earlier this year.
Yeah.
in LA.
That counts. Okay.
But I've never texted Matt so much. And I want to apologize, because now I'm watching the games. He's part of the Cowboys Nation. And so now after every game, I'm like, Matty, let's talk a little bit. I'm so excited that you're a Cowboys dude. You're a Cowboy. I do want to, real quick. I feel
like you just did a 5-minute monologue and didn't ask a single question. But okay,
well,
go ahead.
Here's the question. So we're watching the game on Sunday, and I'm excited to have you on the team. And then, Cowboys score, and it's time for the extra point. And then
you're going there.
It looks like there was a premature snap from my boy Matt Overton. And I just want to know, we have you on here, Matty. What happened there?
I mean, it was definitely a mistake on my part. Maybe a little jitter. My first game. Really just working on the timing with these guys here. I've had a few days just to kind of get acclimated as quickly as possible. And man, I got out there and, with field goal, a lot of people don't understand, but with field goal operation, it's all about timing. And so my timing was just slightly off because I can't see the kicker or most of the holder when I'm in my stance. And I just base it off of a kind of a snap count. And man, I miscued that one big time. So not the greatest start as a Dallas Cowboy, but bounce back and try to keep my composure the entire time and just go out there and finish strong.
What do they say to you whenever they fly you in? And are you compete? Because you hear about them flying kickers in, and they've brought 4 kickers in. They're competing for the job. Is that what happened with you? Was it you and other long snappers? What's that? Like what? Yeah, what happens?
Yeah, typically the reality is there's not a lot of us on the street that are available. And then when it comes to like guys with experience, it's even less. So in my position, going into the season as a free agent who has, 10 years of experience, when you look at the list of guys, I'm like one of maybe 2 guys that are available that have the experience. A lot of guys are young, inexperienced. And so they typically will bring a group of guys in, 3 to 5 guys, and there'll be a couple veterans like myself mixed in there with some young guys. And this situation here, since it's, kind of mid-season, most teams would lean to have an experienced guy over a young guy. Not saying that the young guys aren't as good, because there's some really good talent. But I think it just favors someone like me that has the game day experience, who's been through the grind and all that kind of stuff of the season. So I did really well in my workout, have some familiarity with the coach here, and I got the nod after the workout, and they signed me on Wednesday.
Do you get to keep the helmet for every team you played?
That's a good question.
Every team that I play, I do keep my helmet. However, they do charge you.
What's that cost?
Depends on what kind of model you have. There's different models,
Well,
but
I
I would say like maybe, I don't know, $500.
Oh, never mind.
That's worth it.
That'd be like $80. I'd get one, but I ain't trying to pay $500.
No, these are, you can go get the replicas at Dick's Sporting Goods for about $100, but not the real deal.
Have you met Jerry Jones?
I have not, but he gave an epic post game speech in the locker room. So I've been in close quarters with him, and apparently guys are a little kind of starstruck around him a little bit if you don't know him, and because he does carry kind of that aura and that kind of celebrity. But he's here every single day. It's like I said, it's different in Jerry's world. We really are in like our own little bubble over here in Frisco, Texas. So it's pretty cool. And it's one of those things where I've been with, some good teams, but when you have you're wearing that star, it takes it up a few notches, and the facility here is like a museum, man. It's crazy. And there's like tours going on while you're practicing. So there's like random groups of people that come in and out. They're like, it's wild. It's just completely different. And so it's really, really cool to experience kind of like the stardom of, historic franchise like the Cowboys.
He invited me to come be his personal guest and do some stuff with him in December. So I'm going to come up.
You got to do it.
I'm going to try out for the deep snapper too.
No.
I'm going to go.
That's Matt's job.
Oh. Hey, so let's say the center goes down and they're like, oh my God, we don't have another center. Well,
absolutely no chance.
We got a deep snapper. We'll line Rush or Dak back like 6 more yards.
Same thing, right, Matt?
Could you be a center as well?
No chance. No chance. I would get absolutely destroyed by Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we agree, but it's like last minute. Last minute, they're like, we need 3 plays. All right. What? Hey,
no chance.
Here's a generic culture question. Walking into different locker rooms, do the cultures all feel different? And if so, are some drastically different?
Yeah, 100%. I'll give you a perfect example. You go from a winning culture to a losing culture, and I'm not going to name any names from my experiences, but you go from a winning culture to a losing, and it's completely different. when you're in a winning culture and the standard's really, really high, there's kind of just that expectation that is just there. It's known. There's like continuity in that locker room. There's leadership. Not to say that there's not leadership in every locker room, because there is, but it's just in different ways. And then when you go to a place like this, where winning is expected, and the Lombardi Trophy is something that they go after like legitimately every single year, you could just feel it. So I've been in locker rooms where it's pretty common to lose, and the expectation isn't as high. And then maybe there's a new head coach every couple of years, and so the turnovers, pretty common every single year with like roster turnover, new coaches, all that kind of stuff. And so there's definitely different levels to it.
So when you're in a locker room, and obviously I don't want you to name any names or even indicate anything specific, but we root as fans and all our eggs in the basket of our teams. We live and die with them. I'm guilty of this as well. You are too, as a fan of different things. Are there ever just players that are like, I don't care if we win or lose, I'm just trying to get my check?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's, you have, 70 guys on a football roster. 53 of those guys are active, and there's guys that just play their career, and as they get older, maybe winning's not as important as it once was, and or maybe they've already won, and it's just they've got that ring, and they, like they say it's just the phrase is chasing the bag, chasing the bag of money, and they get the money and they're good. And maybe just their passion, their fire kind of dwindles over time. And then there's guys that just continue to chase it every single year, and so I would definitely say there is that. But I think those guys don't last very long. If you're only in it for the money, I don't know why you'd put your, if you're an offensive lineman, for instance, I don't know why you'd put your body through that year in and year out if you have no passion for the game. And so I think those guys just eventually will fizzle out if there is no passion to, or desire to want to be better or help a team win. So, but once they get that bag, man, they just check out. And I don't blame them. I get it, but I think those guys get weeded out fast.
And the first time we'll call it my bag, I was like, dang, I'm gonna work harder and get a bigger bag. Dang, I'm gonna work harder and get a bigger bag, and I can give away this bag.
Yeah.
I understand. I understand. I just don't relate to that mindset, I guess. But on the other side, we have 3 final questions for you. And Eddie, you save your Dallas Cowboys question.
I'm coming to you. I have another one.
You're closing the show with the 3rd and final question.
Good.
Come on, Eddie, hit me with a positivity question.
Yeah, instead of being like,
we don't need to relive in the dark moments of one play.
I know the nation was wondering, Matt. That's why I was asking.
All right.
On the opposite side of that, on the positive side, who you've seen at practice, and they're the opposite. They are so dedicated. They have a fire in them that is probably bigger than the bag they're getting, and their bag is still big. Who is that you've seen and you're like, God dang, that's crazy, like how dedicated they are?
Specifically on this team, or just
in general from your years of playing in the league? Who have you looked at and been like in admiration of? They are dedicated, they are focused, and they're always ready to go.
I would have to say Adam Vinatieri.
He's the greatest, obviously. Hey, wait, is Justin Tucker the greatest now, or is Adam Vinatieri the greatest?
I think Justin Tucker is the best in the league. There's no question. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame for sure. But I think, and statistically, he'll probably be better than anybody, including Vinatieri and those guys that are, I think, Morton Anderson, who's in the Hall of Fame. But, I think when you think of like iconic kicks and the kicks that really matter, for instance, the Super Bowl, snow kick. God. I don't think you can ever, duplicate that. And not to discredit what Tuck is doing, because he's incredible. The guy is a machine, and he's 100% the best in the league. But my GOAT is always Vinatieri, always will be.
Yeah, I don't think anyone thinks you're discrediting anyone. I mean, it's hard to argue Vinatieri isn't the greatest of all time because of the big kicks that he's made. I mean, people would compare that snow kick to like my second dance on Dancing with the Stars. You know, it was just tough. The elements weren't there. You had to perform athletically.
Absolutely.
Eddie, what is your? We have 2 questions left, but you get a Cowboy question. Go ahead.
All right, Matt. So when you look at old video clips of the Cowboys when Jimmy Johnson was there, this locker room speeches at the end, that's really where like, how about them Cowboys came from. And they've got, I mean, the energy of that locker room after those games was like amazing. And now you watch TikTok and you see almost the same vibe in the Dallas Cowboys locker room after these few weeks. What are you seeing in there? Do you see the same kind of energy coming from this Dallas Cowboys team?
Well, dude, I got to take it back, man. I grew up a Niner fan. So every year it seemed like the Niners and the Cowboys would play each other in the NFC Championship. And so I despised the Cowboys. Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman.
All right, move on, Matt. Get with the point.
No, I mean, I did. Even though they were great, I was a Niner fan, man. Jerry Rice, Steve Young, and always going after the boys, you know. But no, I mean, there's always been that respect level from afar, just, you know, playing against them and kind of seeing, you know, what the organization is all about, not just from being a kid watching games all the time, but there's always been some sort of respect and admiration for the Cowboys. And obviously, you know, you know most people know who Jerry Jones is. You look at all the iconic coaches that they've had since back in the day. And then you talk about those speeches, man. And, you know, how about them Cowboys has always been kind of that tagline at the very, very end. And, you know, I've only been here for a cup of coffee, man. So I haven't been here very long, but I can tell with Coach McCarthy and just the coaches that they have here, Dan Quinn, the D coordinator, John Fossil, our special teams coach, AKA Bones, like they just have like this, there's just like this kind of aura right now that's going around that, even though we don't have Dak at quarterback, you got, you know, Cooper Rush back there, you know, 5-0 as a starter. The defense is playing lights out. There's just like something you can get, you really can't put your finger on it sometimes, but there's just like that vibe that you just feel like the confidence is through the roof right now. I know it's a long season, but after this win in that locker room, I feel like there was this like, maybe like this little turning point where, all right, you know, we're 4-1. We just beat another tough team on the road, the defending, you know, Super Bowl champions on the road. Our defense was lights out. We have our backup quarterback. It's almost like the sky's the limit once Dak gets back, and I think this team is going to roll. And so that speech after the game this past weekend was very similar to what you're talking about, because Jerry Jones was in the middle of it, and he kind of broke us down as a team. And man, it was pretty fire to be a part of that for my very first time.
All right, final question here.
I just got chills.
Okay, relax.
I mean, that's amazing.
Eddie's like, I just got a boner. Wait, relax,
no,
Eddie.
I didn't say boner.
Okay, yeah, but we know that's what you meant.
Oh boy.
Okay, so here, this is what I want to say. Final question. So at the end of the game, we see a lot of the jersey swapping now. You know, soccer did it forever, and now we see a lot of NFL players doing it. What's the rule? Could you call it, like you're playing the Eagles next week? Do you have to do someone on special teams, or could you be like, hey, ask Jalen Hurts if I can have his jersey? Like, what's the rule? Because I would just aim high and then slowly fall down with each person that said no.
I mean, so first of all, it's pretty crazy because there's some teams that have rules about jersey swap, because you got to think about, like, for someone like me, the long snapper, you know, my jersey doesn't get like torn and ripped like maybe the running backs does, right? Or the linebackers. So those guys have like maybe 10 jerseys of every single color for the season, maybe even more, but maybe I only have one duplicate. So if I give away my jersey, I only have one left, and they have to pre-order some more. So when jersey swapping became like a big deal, like teams were finding guys like $1,500 for swapping their jersey because they don't have another replacement for those guys. So guys were paying the $1,500 to swap, which in my mind wasn't really worth it, unless you just absolutely had to do it. But now it's so common that a little veteran move is to go into if you know that you're going to swap with guys, like you look at the schedule, I'm going to swap with my boy Matt here, I'm going to do this, that, and the other. You go in early in the year, be like, hey, listen, I'm going to swap 5 jerseys this year. Charge me for 5 jerseys at the cost of what a jersey is, like $300. and I'm just going to swap out those jerseys. It may not be the game worn one, but I'll have one replaced, a replacement jersey that I'll swap with guys. And then that's typically what I do. But to answer your question too, about like who you ask, I'll go back to Vinatieri. When I was with Vinatieri, there was guys like of all positions that came up to Vinatieri asking for a jersey swap. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. But like for someone like me to go up to, a Jalen Hurts or AJ Brown and be like, hey dude, I know you don't know me, but you want to swap my jersey? You want to swap? Let's make it happen. And it would be embarrassing because they would probably just shrug it off and laugh and tell me to kick rocks.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. But I do swap jerseys with the snappers though. That's kind of our little small fraternity thing. If I'm good buddies with the snapper, I'll swap jerseys for sure. And we've done that in the past. Or, I've done it with, Vinatieri when I played against him and, guys that I've been friends with. So that's pretty common.
I wish like Andy Reid and Belichick would just swap hoodies. They're shirtless at the game. Cool. They switch and they're holding it up, nipples out, chest hair, armpit. And they're like, all right, this is my guy here. They just straight
everyone
up
at the same time go,
polos. Yeah, we're like, guys.
I don't know if we want to see Andy Reid like that.
Hey, listen, for that'd be awesome. Hey, we're pumped for you.
Yeah, man.
I'm always like, sometimes you have friends and buddies who you don't talk to that often, but you watch them so much on social media that you feel like you know what's going on. And when you were with the Chargers, I was watching you in the locker. I mean, when we were talking about getting you on, I was like, I don't know how long it's been since I've talked to him because I feel like I've just been kind of consumed in what you go through every year. I guess you and I talked whenever I interviewed a guy that you knew for a job that I had here. But dude, we're proud for you, and it's awesome. Like, and aside from football, like you are someone who represents, like, and your hat says it too. Stay ready. Like, just go to work and do the work, and eventually you'll get a call. And if you don't, well, you were ready if you ever got it. And so just proud to see the effort and the grind. And Eddie's proud that you're a Cowboy. I mean, really. That's
awesome. I mean, my friend's a freaking Dallas Cowboy. Yeah, like, it's cool. Amazing. I've told everyone, by the way, Matt, that you're a Cowboy now. And you're my friend, and they're all looking at you. And it's like,
he's never talked about you more than right now.
Hey,
we got to get you out to a game, man.
I'm
going to bring him out. When we do when I come up there with Jerry, I'm going to bring Eddie.
Don't forget, too, Matt's still selling houses. So are you still like, how are you showing houses while you're playing for the Cowboys?
He flies back real quick for a showing down on 3rd Street.
Hey, I'll tell you, if you got time, I got a quick little story about last year, how crazy it was. So I was like kind of full blown into real estate there in Nashville. And at the time I was helping the long snapper for the Chargers. I was helping his family relocate from California to Nashville. And I was showing them houses all over the place. We ended up finding places in Murfreesboro for them. But I'm not kidding, man. The day their son got hurt, the Chargers called me, and I felt so awkward. I called, the parents and said, hey, listen, I don't know if you know this, but the Chargers are signing me, coincidentally.
Your realtor.
I didn't want I didn't want the relationship to spoil or them to be upset about it. And they were the nicest people. But I'm not kidding you. The day that the Chargers called me, they said, can you be on a flight at like 5 p.m.? And dude, I had showings, man. I had to go out. I had to drive 45 minutes to Murfreesboro, show some houses. And I told my agents, dude, I have to go show these houses before I get on a plane. That's my due diligence to my clients. And I did that. And the one house that I showed was the house that we put an offer in for this family. And it worked out where they got an accepted offer. So it was a crazy kind of a series of events last year where, like you said, I was showing houses in the midst of getting signed to a team and moving, and I still do it from afar. So I have a nice little team there in Nashville, and if they need help wherever they can, then I just have them do a showing. But right now I do it very, very, very part-time.
I mean, look at this guy. He's showing a house to a family and injuring their son so they can have a job at the same time. The guy can do it all. He can do it all at the same time. Hey, look, we're really proud for you, Matt. And
no, thank you. I appreciate that. Seriously.
Keep it up, and I'm sure we'll talk to you. We'll watch you, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, buddy?
I appreciate you, Bobby.
All right,
Eddie.
Matt Overton. See you, buddy.
All right, see you, Matt.
See you, bro.